So is the laundry done?
Yep, check.
Towels folded?
Yep.
Shirts pressed?
Yep.
Groceries bought?
Yep.
Dinner prepared?
Yep.
Paramania radio turned on? Well?
Uh-oh.
Don't let this happen to you. Paramania's here. Join us at paramaniaradio.com.
Kicking off a new year and returning to Sunday night at his old time slot, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. Join host Tim Malley as he brings you the most recognizable names in the paranormal field on Fox Cities Paranormal Radios.
What do you see? The cult of personality.
In the mall, during church. Do you have trouble keeping your pants on? Do you crave that glorious feeling of escaping the confines of leg tubes and butt barricades? There is a place you can go. Welcome to the No Pants Zone. The first Friday night of every month at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. Only on Paramania Radio. The No Pants Zone. Freedom, oh sweet freedom.
The views expressed and the opinions given by the individual hosts and their guests do not necessarily reflect those of Paramania, its affiliates, or its sponsors.
You are listening to Paramania Radio.
You're listening to the Parasearch UK radio show with your hosts Kerry Greenaway and Jay Lynch, right here on Paramania Radio.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the Parasearch radio show. Or am I supposed to say Parasearch UK radio show still?
Right.
Carrie?
Either
Carrie?
or. Either
or. Either or. Is it either or is it either?
No, it's Parasearch radio show. We call it the Parasearch UK radio show. I don't know quite why we still do that, but it's the Parasearch.
Because when we first started doing it was called the Parasearch UK radio network, and now it's just Parasearch UK radio. It's just
That's
Parasearch
true,
radio.
because we're global. We're global. We're not just
Right.
UK.
Absolutely. So that's what I'm saying. I still say the UK as part of the radio show. How's that?
Yeah, go for
But
it.
it's on Paramania Radio. It gets rebroadcast on Monday nights on Parasearch Radio.
That's
I'm
right.
getting confused. Hi, Carrie. How are you, love?
I'm fine, thank you. And how are you?
I'm good. I'm busy. I'm starting a whole new process this week with this whole Weight Watcher shit, and it's actually working out pretty good. You sound absolutely back to normal, just about.
Yeah, I'm completely back to normal, thank you. It's all good in the hood, as they say.
As normal as you can be.
You know, like I'm a little weird, but you know, that's normal, surely.
But I would not have you any other way.
Oh, thank you, honey.
Your weirdness makes you unique, and that's what I love about it.
You gotta love unique.
Absolutely. Once again, we are being joined by Teresa and Dr. Dave. I thought I turned my volume off. Sorry, quit giving me shitty looks.
I've asked you 3 times to now.
Oh, you're talking?
I guess. Hello, everyone.
This
Hey,
isn't our...
Dee.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. And how are you, girl?
Doing well. I'm on the mend.
Yeah, good. And how's the knee?
It's sore, but I go back to the doctor tomorrow, so we'll see what he has to say.
Replacement.
Okay.
What
Well,
replacement?
at least you don't need your knee for radio shows.
Right.
Oh,
I can
yeah.
sit here and run my mouth.
Oh, dear. Right. Dave, are you in the house?
Yes.
Yeah.
As I look up at the ceiling, I am inside the house.
Sitting at the controls, manning this network.
Oh, bless
at
him.
the helm, Captain.
Yeah, at the helm.
Full power, Captain.
Captain, my captain.
So, this week, guys,
Here she goes. I love it.
we got a topic on the table. So I was like, you know, as I do, I have a little surf around, see what's happening in the paranormal field. And I came across a website that had, I loved this. This was awesome. An online Ouija board.
I'm afraid.
I had so much fun with this.
I'm scared, Jay. Hold me.
I had so much fun with this. It was ask a question. So you typed in a question, and then you put your little mouse on the planchette, and it gave you an answer. Now, I would just like to point out that if you asked it the same question enough times, you finally got the answer you wanted.
Carrie, who told you my mouse was little?
I didn't say little mouse. Well, I did say little mouse, but you know, only computer terms. Only computer terms. Oh gosh, they want the link.
Backpedal.
I know. No, I haven't got the link anymore. I've got something else, which is completely inappropriate. I'll have to go and find it.
Hey, why aren't we doing this? Why aren't we doing this live Ouija on air then?
Well, it got me thinking about Ouija boards in general. And what do we think about them? Because there's been a huge thing this week. I mean, nothing was trending particularly, but discussions were firing off left, right and centre about whether or not Ouija boards are a portal to hell or a tool for good, or whether you should use them or not. You know, so I thought I'd bring the Ouija board to the table. Personally, haven't got a problem with them. What are your guys' thoughts?
Oh, I don't have a problem with them at all.
We've got 5. So we don't have any issues with them.
I'm asking the online Ouija board a question right now, but y'all really don't want to know what it is.
I'm sure we don't.
Well, so I'm asking if it's big enough to be broken.
Oh, dear. It's very controversial, the Ouija board, though, isn't it?
It's very controversial. A lot of people
change the subject completely here.
Just got this answer.
No, I didn't. It's just hovering right in the middle of the board, just not doing shit. It won't answer my question.
I love this. I spent hours playing with this. I did spend hours playing with this. I just found the link, guys, so I'm going to share it. I had hours of fun with this. I will just like to point out. I would like to point out it was for entertainment purposes only, and the website states this. But it was fun. It was fun.
I'm in trouble because it says right at the bottom. I actually looked down at the bottom. It says Museum of the Talking Boards.
It is, yeah.
So they're actual museums. So it is for entertainment purposes only. These people know what they're doing with them.
Of course they do. But the Ouija board in general is a very controversial topic. And some places like to use will allow you to use them, and other places will say, no Ouija board whatsoever. And that seems to be how it sits very much in people's minds. People are either open to them or they're not. Now, I know you guys have loads, don't you? You have ones with Paramania on it, and one with Parasearch on it, and one with the Paranormal Hindsight on it.
Absolutely. We got those 3. Then Teresa bought one that's actually got the Tree of Life on it, and it's got a nice Celtic knotwork design on the planchette. And then she also has one that has I think it's like a witch on it or something. And it's really nice. It's really colorful. It's not like the custom wooden ones that our friend made for us. It's another one that she had purchased at a event we were at, Paranormal Toledo, actually. She had saw it and just absolutely fell in love with it. So she got that one. So we actually now have 5 in the household. And they're all back in one room, too. And I do leave the planchette laying on the board, even though they say, don't ever do that.
You know, he's got to just push the limits on everything.
I hold it up to my eye and I peek through the holes to see if I see any demonic entities.
And do you?
No.
Why did they say don't leave it on the board?
There's some people that believe that if you leave it on the board, it will develop energy of its own, and then it'll start. You're leaving the portal open by doing that. Even unwillingly, that even though you're not messing with it and you're not putting your energy into it, just by leaving the planchette on the board, you're actually leaving an open portal or open doorway for whatever to come through. And I got nothing.
Okay.
Keep saying about demons though, because I see Zozo is in the chat room. The Zozo demon.
Uh-oh, Zozo is in the house. I think I know who that might be. Now, bearing in mind that going back in the day, in 1890, I believe it was just a parlor game. It was just, It was just a game. It wasn't anything related to anything else. It's a game. You know what I mean? It's one of those things.
It was a game, but it was about communication with the other side, spirit communication, whatever you want to call it. But it wasn't taken as something evil. It wasn't taken as that until what was that? The Exorcist, when they put it in that. That's when the first movie that demonized, whatever, made it bad. That's why I get trying to say big words. Demonized it. There we go.
There you go.
Well, I don't have a problem with Ouija boards. I'm quite happy to use a Ouija board. It doesn't affect me. I mean, I see it from two perspectives. I've seen it used very effectively to get a alleged communication, and I've also can understand the psychological side of this, which is the ideomotor effect. But then I also think, would the ideomotor effect have that bigger response on a board? I don't know. You do know what the idea. I know. I brought the ideomotor effect into the room. Basically, an ideomotor effect is a reflective response that the body reacts to, that makes tiny motions. That we see it a lot in divination, don't we? Like with pendulums and stuff like that. It's put down to that, or from subconscious responses to questions you ask.
I'm sorry, it was the chat room.
Oh, right.
Zozo said, Jay, if you look through the planchette at a mirror, you'll see a demon.
That's funny.
Uh-oh. He's going to try that later. We know this, don't we?
I've done it. And
did you see it? You did see it? Was it your eye?
It was in the mirror.
In your eye?
It had this wooden thing in front of its face and everything. You want to see that part of his face was blocked out. It had this weird hand coming out of its chin or something like that. It was just weird looking.
Weird. I don't explain that. Dave, have you got a Ouija board?
No, I don't.
And what is your take on them?
No.
Oh, I'm being correct. I know this is Andy Mercer because he's correcting my pronunciation. Sorry, Andy. I knew I would get it wrong.
Yeah. That's the official Andy test. Mispronounce something.
If he wishes to hide behind an identity, then you need to not like correct me on my pronunciation.
But the problem with that is he doesn't ever do that with me because he could do nothing all night but sit there and go, damn it, Jay, you said it wrong. Damn it. Damn it. He would never give me them trying to correct all my mistakes.
No, I'll get that later. Don't worry. He'll talk me through it a lot until I get it right. Okay, so it's the ideomotor effect. So is it just the ideomotor effect? See, I got it right that time. Or is it a spirit coming through from your subconscious level and giving you a response on the board?
Oh, I have no idea what it is. It may be, but you know, I don't discount necessarily that the Ouija boards could be potentially a form of communication. I just don't think it's something that people in general should be doing, because I think it's a tool, but a tool that needs to be used by people who understand how the tool should work and does work and how it should be used properly. That there are certain ways that tools should be used and the proper way to use tools. So there is a certain way you should do it and a wrong way that you shouldn't do it, and the wrong way ends badly. The right way ends less badly, as I like to say. So, and that's probably confusing the hell out of people, but you know, so there it is. But it's the same thing with the ghost box, and that's the way I always look at it. Is the ghost box is nothing more than an electronic version of the Ouija board, as far as I'm concerned. when you look at it, you're communicating with something you can't see, hear, smell, or touch. We have no idea what it is. All we know is it's statistically improbable that we're not communicating with something that's some form of consciousness. The question is, what is that consciousness? What is it we're communicating with? The only thing I don't like about the Ouija board is that the communication is coming from the form of some kind of physical contact with the entity. And that gets into a territory that I don't like, because you start crossing a territory that gets close to what I'm not a fan of, which is channeling or possession or spirit attachment, because you cross in that territory where the spirit is actually making physical contact with you and the planchette.
Now that you said that, then if that's the case, then all the other ones, and even using a K2 meter or a spirit board or anything like that, or a Hack Shack or whatever, or a ghost box, if you're holding it, you're making physical contact with it. Something that device is.
No, hold up. With the K2 meter, you may be coming into close proximity to an EMF field. That does not necessarily mean you're directly in contact with that field.
But if you have it in your hand, you said by touching the board, you're making contact with it. That would also be the same.
I'm in contact with an EMF detector. Does not necessarily mean that my hand and that EMF detector is in direct contact with that entity. That means
what about the spirit box? And how they're manipulating it then?
With the spirit box?
How they manipulate? Yeah, how they manipulate it.
They're in that. But I usually set that thing on the ground.
But I know people that hold it.
I know, and I've done it in the past too. And you're right.
Takes in pendulums
You're absolutely right.
Dowsing rods, all these things.
Pendulum, dowsing rods, and dowsing rods I'm not a big fan of either, because I think honestly there's no way in hell you can hold a pair of dowsing rods and not steer them one way or the other. It is impossible to not steer them. It is impossible. I have tried, and you know what happens every time? It goes whatever way some way my brain wants it to go. Whatever that answer is I want it to be, it ends up going that way 95% of the time.
I was absolutely amazed when I got involved with the paranormal 8 years ago and saw people using dowsing rods. I'm like, are you serious? Are you kidding me? We've used those in my family for generations, and we also use sticks to do it. It's called well witching. We use it to find water.
Right.
So when he's like, well, look, it moved. I'm like, do you know if there's any underground water tables underneath of you? Because if there is, of course, there could be some kind of energy level to it. I mean, I've been seeing that happen for all my life.
See, Zozo agrees with me. Thank you, Mr. Zozo, Demon Andy Mercer.
Oh, dear. Oh, God, I set you two off tonight, didn't I?
Yeah, I'm not that big on dowsing rods or that stuff either, for my own use. I know people absolutely love them, believe them. That's for them, and that's cool. That don't mean I have to agree with them.
No,
but I say they're too easy manipulated. They're too easy manipulated at all.
Teresa,
the Ouija board, though, too.
I don't care for the dowsing rods.
I
don't care for the dowsing rods.
But you're all about your pendulums.
I like my pendulums.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very careful personally. Me personally, I'm very careful that even when I'm using my pendulums, I don't do very many questions in a row without taking a break. If I'm just standing there, like I'm not supporting my elbow or something on, because I even hold my breath. That way I don't move whatsoever. I'm real
okay. How is that different from Ouija or dowsing rods?
I don't think it's different at all for dowsing or for Ouija. But dowsing rods, well, I guess if you're going to take the devil's advocate, as Jay would do, you could say that any of them are easily manipulated by humans.
Absolutely.
To get the answers that you want.
Okay. So going back to something that was said before, Andy, sorry. Jane and Dave went off on a little rant. What's the proper? Well, sorry, I'm getting confused with Zozos and Andes and so much going on in the background. The proper way to use it and the not proper way to use it was said. So, what is the proper and the non-proper way to use it?
Well, now you're gonna get me on another tangent.
Okay. I was told that when you open up the Ouija or Ouija, that you ask to speak to only spirits that have walked in the light, that have walked on earth, and that nothing bad comes. Shut up, Jay.
What the hell?
I'd love to see what was going on in the background there.
No, you don't. And that you also have to close every session out.
Or you could just read the instructions that come with the son of a bitch if you buy your Parker Brothers ones or whatever.
I didn't buy Parker's Brothers.
Milton Bradley or whoever the hell makes a son of a bitch. But I'm just saying, everybody you talk to says, oh, no, you're using it wrong. You have to do this. And it's just like paranormal investigating. Every jackass has their own special way of doing it, and everybody says the other person's wrong and they're right. Bite me.
Do we? I mean, there is, like I say, controversial topic with the Ouija board. I've used the Ouija board and nothing bad's ever happened to me. I mean, I think it's one of those things that is easily dabbled with when you're younger, because they're readily and they're a parlor game and it's sold in shops quite readily, and always has been. They're like marketed as a game, aren't they?
Yes.
And that's where it first started. It was only in World War One when there was a spiritualist lady, Pearl, a lady called Pearl, and it turned it into a spiritualist tool to contact people from the war. Oh God, I can't remember her name. I researched this earlier, I can't remember. Anyway, this lady, a spiritualist American, just like to point that out.
Imagine that.
World War One, something to do with trying to contact people that, maybe had passed or maybe hadn't. And that's where it became a tool for divination more than ever before. Before that, it was just a game. And I have to say, when I was like probably about... I think I was in primary school, so I would have been about like 9 or 10. It was a game we played, and it wasn't anything serious. I mean, it was a game, and that's how it kind of was taken. I mean, it scared us because that's what you do at 10 years of age, but,
You're doing it to get scared.
Exactly. That's the whole point, surely.
It comes back to the same thing we were saying just the other week. If you believe in it, and if you believe it's something bad and evil, then you're going to have a bad and evil experience. If you think it's all about love and light, then you're going to have a more positive time. It's all in what you put into it and what you get. Same with paranormal investigating. You go looking for bad stuff. Of course, every time you turn around, all you get is bad things, then you go away, die, F off, and everything else. It's in your interpretation. People would put too much of themselves into it and not actually take it for what it is.
I agree. I mean, I've had some since entering the paranormal investigation world. I've had some great experiences with the Ouija board, and nothing at all on it as well. Do you know what I mean? We've had times where we've not been able to get that planchette to move for love nor money.
Oh, every place we go to investigate, we cannot take them. No,
see,
that's not true.
The problem with America, isn't it?
Collingwood
You're not allowed to, are you?
Right.
Collingwood.
Have you tried your Ouija boards at home?
Robin Terry's got a huge collection of Ouija boards. He would allow us to bring him at his places. They were not the Rhodes Hotel, but the other places. He has had Ouija boards there at Ashmore and the Art Theater. But have we messed with it at home? I haven't.
I have.
Teresa and Michelle have, and actually I've had people Skype in with them and go video to them and help them out with learning how to use it and all that stuff and help with instructions on their way.
I'm sorry. Richard has just said the proper way to use a Ouija board is to get a tattooed-infested, gothic-clad hippie chick to lead the session for that modern, authentic feel.
See, you got me since you said modern, authentic feel. I don't want that modern. The modern hippies just suck. The modern hippies just suck.
Oh, thanks.
Why? They're nothing like the hippies of the past.
I mean, I was wearing Nag Champa perfume today.
Oh,
that makes you a hippie?
Pure hippie. And Zozo, Andy Mercer, says the improper way is to stand on your head with a bucket of fish hanging from your left leg and a live wombat on the right leg. Now, that would definitely be wrong. On so many levels. On so many levels. But, yeah, hell more fun is all I can say to that. I just think it's a really interesting look, if you want to class it as that, as the psychological effect of modern era media on people's perception of a tool. Yeah, there's some big words there for you guys.
People are easily manipulated and they're sheeple. The majority of people are sheeple. They're just little sheep led to the slaughter. They will go with what everybody else says. And it's that makes me madder than anything else in this world, for people not to think for themselves. It just pisses me the hell off.
That's true.
At least have your own idea.
Have to hear that all night.
Well, at least have your own idea. Even if you're wrong, at least think something of your own and not just go, well, they said it was evil. It's going to make a portal to hell. There's going to be demons up my ass. Whatever. There's a thing the other day, supposedly, and I know it had to be fake news. It was from a supposed church talking people should have to wear a butt plug because that's where demons would enter your bodies from.
What?
Oh, yeah, it's hysterical. Whether it's, I can't find out. I'm doing research to see if it's actually from, but I haven't been able to find it. I think it's all just fake crap made up, but it's hysterical. And everything about this stuff, I mean, it's so overrated and people are so easily manipulated. It's amazing. And I'm supposedly the big dumb redneck out there. And I say that all the time. But that's why I say that, because people look at me and they think, oh, you're just a big dumb redneck. No, I'm not. I'm not also not as naive as you are to believe every little stupid thing comes out of Hollywood. Jackasses. Ran over, soapbox, put away. Done.
Is all I can say is that a butt plug with a tail attached or not?
With a Bluetooth built-in vibrator.
Oh my goodness. Like I said, I've got no problem using it. I've got no problem. Oh gosh,
I love how
get
she
off that
switches
topic.
gears
I know. I
back.
try and fix the topic. I've got no problem with dowsing rods. I've got no problem with pendulums. I am also aware of the ideomotor effect. Whatever that word is. And I've got I get that. Do you know what I mean? Is it from your subconscious? Is it actually you channeling a spirit? I don't know. But there have been some interesting results. And people have had bad experiences whilst using Ouija boards.
People's had bad experiences using dowsing rods. People's had bad experiences using a car. That doesn't make it evil and demonic.
Right.
Well, unless it's called Christine.
Point well taken.
I'm going to name my
dropping that one into the room is all I can say on that one. I can't believe, well, I can, that there's such a thing in locations where they will not allow a Ouija board.
Oh, I absolutely. But
is that purely media driven?
Oh, absolutely. And as soon as you mention Ouija board over here, most people's assholes pucker so tight they're just whistling some kind of tune.
Yeah.
You can hear them. It's like, oh my God, you didn't just see. Don't even say the name. It's almost like you say it's Voldemort. The board that shall not be named.
I was going to say it's he who shall not be named.
That's the board that shall not be named.
We can't mention that. We can't mention that name because you don't know what will happen.
Yeah, right. This is the same thing with the Ouija. And you know what gets me is that most people don't realize that Ouija boards, talking boards, spirit boards, that's actually what they are, have been around since bicentennial time. A lot of people don't realize that there are 5 different styles of them in use right now.
Exactly.
I can bring out a pendulum board, which is a style of Ouija board,
right.
Put a pendulum over it. And since I'm not using a planchette, it's cool. But if I put a planchette on, oh my God, you demonic bastard! You chicken.
And there's angel boards, isn't there?
Yeah, that's the new one too. Angel boards.
Angel boards, exactly the same,
thing.
except it's got angels stamped on it instead.
So one of our Ouija boards, people got really happy with since it's got demonic little faces, skulls on it with horns. Actually, that friend of ours that custom makes them, he sells them, and he goes takes them to horror conventions. And when he does, he uses some of the horror icons, like the girl off the grunge. He's got one that's got her face on it and stuff. It's neater than hell.
He does phenomenal work. And what's funny, I was just sitting here thinking about this. We were at a Paracon with him And do what?
I was looking for his card. He's going to do a
Oh.
shameless pop.
Okay. We were at a Paracon with him, and he had all of his boards set out, and people were talking to like Paul Bradford, and they were coming down the aisle, and they were talking and looking, and then they would come up to Jason's boards and see that what it was. Like they were talking to Paul, and they turned around, looked to see what the table was next to him, and were so shocked and mortified that they just could not.
They would actually walk
they
out
would
10,
walk
15 feet around.
Come out 10, 15 feet around and go around the table. Parents were telling their kids not to touch the table, grabbing their hands.
Really?
Oh, yeah, don't touch that.
Yeah, don't do that. That's bad. Jason would just sit there and laugh.
Oh, I cracked up. That's why I went and sit.
Boards.
That's why I went and sit at his table, so that way I didn't have to be talking to anybody besides Jason.
And yeah, if you have, like Teresa said, a pendulum board, which I have had on my stall with crystals right next to pendulums and stuff like that, there's none of that. You don't get any of that. If you had one with angels stamped on it, it's an angel board, not a Ouija board. You know, it's exactly the same thing.
Yep, and if you got angels on it, they'll stop over top. They go, "Oh, praise Jesus!" Yeah, okay. Demons talk to the Ouija, but Jesus talks to this one because I put an angel on it.
Just put an angel on it. I know. I mean, I was looking at the site earlier on with I know I started the show with a joke, but that site is very informative in regards to history and stuff. It's fun as well. You know, you can have a bit of fun on there for entertainment purposes only. And trust me, I had a hell of a lot of fun with that. And I asked the same question about 20 times until I got the answer I wanted. And then I was like, yes, that's the answer I'm taking. Put it this way, I'm living my life by that site now until I get the answer I want.
Yeah.
It's a bit like I'm going to pull a tarot card every day until I get the answer I want. It's the same thing, isn't it? It's a tool. That's all it is. It's a tool. It's how you view it. It's how you perceive it from a media-driven perception. I mean, I don't watch these movies. I don't get buy into them. I don't really care, to be honest with you. So I will use anything to see what happens, you know, just out of interest more than anything else.
I enjoy working with. I'm going to work with him more this year. I have to. I have to because for two reasons. Because I have this undesirable knowledge and thirst to want to experience things for myself, not just when I go bad. Why? Because demons. Really? Yes.
It's actually more about your perception of angels and demons, I think.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's all in their minds.
Yes, Richard. What was the answer I wanted? Oh. Yes, I asked if Johnny Depp would become my husband, and it said, no, yes.
So that means he's got to get rid of all these other wives.
Yeah.
And then you will be there.
And move to the UK.
That's right.
I keep asking that question, too, and so far it agreed with me on one, and it disagreed with me on the other one, and one it disagreed with me on, I wasn't too happy about.
Honestly, it is fun. To be fair, that website is a lot of fun. And actually, if you're looking deeper into the site, there are other boards you can try that are not as easy as the one that we've shared the link to. But again, entertainment purposes only, purely view it as entertainment. When you use a Ouija board in real life, take it a little bit more serious, I would say, because as Dave said earlier, you don't know what you're linking into, whether it's your own subconscious or whatever, or even the idiomotor, sorry. I'm being corrected privately as well as in the chat room, trust me.
See, I don't get that because I'm looking and going, okay, whatever. Cool. See, you have a position of authority, so you have to represent yourself properly. I just have a position of being a jackass, so I'm done.
I'm trying so hard to represent myself properly, and it's hard work at times, just like to say. But at the end of the day, it is a tool you can use. And the fear factor surrounding this tool is, yeah, I'm getting there. Whew. I'm still not right, but I'm getting there. With the pronunciation, that is. I don't know. I don't think that your reflexology, is that the right word? I don't even know if that's the right word. The reflexes you have would create sometimes the swirl of energy that's on the board. Because sometimes it goes crazy, doesn't it? Would that affect?
I've never had the board, the planchette. When I've been around it, it never moved. Now, once I left, and Teresa and Michelle and Callie were all talking and working with it and stuff.
We had it moved.
They had some good activity, but it seemed like since I walked back, I was like, oh, here comes the skeptic. This will make you look like stupid ass and not move.
Is that because, though, that you're more, Teresa and the other girls were more open-minded?
Could very, very, very well be.
I don't think it's more open-minded. I think it's more that they are with their abilities and then their openness about that and the whole metaphysical side of them. And I want to see it work. I want to experience it. I really do. But I don't want to buy into it either. Just like anything else, I won't buy into it and go automatically jump on the bandwagon and say, "Oh, that's something," when it's not. Look more open-minded to it. That's the thing. I think that sometimes people aren't open-minded enough. They want it to happen. They want to experience it, so it does happen. And they do experience it.
Yeah, the only other time that I worked with Ouija, we worked with another team, and they had 2 mediums.
Mm-hmm.
That was their thing. They used the Ouija and they did table tipping. And the thing that I found interesting was the people that were going to be like.
Now, I did experience table tipping twice.
The board, they made sure that they had everybody hum and raise the vibration. Because they didn't want a low vibration, because then you might get something that you don't really want to come through.
I've seen that as well in regards to the humming, and I was very interested in that because everybody's humming in a circle attached to a particular object, and I'm looking at it thinking everybody's now creating a vibration within themselves through the humming, which creates movement within your body, that then when you've got like a circle, it vibrates through, doesn't it? And then causes the object to move. I was very interested in that experiment.
Yeah, they said that it was just to raise the
harmonic balance.
You and your big words.
It's not often.
It was
not
to
often
raise the vibration of the area
Mm-hmm.
that was immediately surrounding.
I usually get a good raise when I want to get a good.
Shut up, Jay. To raise the area immediately surrounding the board.
Yeah.
And if they thought that things were starting to maybe go south a little bit, they kept control of it. If they thought it was starting to go,
here's my buddy Dave. Yes, finally. Jay, and then that comment. Okay.
Go with it.
But having said that, even Tesla going back in the day turned around and said, if you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Isn't humming a form of entering that realm of frequency and vibration and raising that energy?
What's the difference in humming and drumming?
Oh, I'm just saying. I'm just throwing it out there.
No, I'm just saying that was not laughing at what you said.
You were
and
laughing
Trish said,
at Zozo.
I'm laughing at Zozo in the chat room. He's typing in the song. I'm picking up good vibrations.
Oh, he's bringing the song into the chat room. Oh, I see.
There are so many different ways to get good humming going.
It's interesting. Oh, I don't even know what to do now with this show.
Just like go bright side. You got Mark Manley tomorrow night.
I'm going to ask a question because I do not know. Have you ever been in a drumming circle?
Yes, I have.
Isn't that to raise the vibration?
And it's incredibly the effect it has is very powerful. I can't deny that.
So,
but isn't that to do with mindset? Isn't that to do with mindset? You go in, you're obviously open to that as a way of a link to something, and you are more accepting of things. Another person going to drum and saying, because that was actually awesome drumming, but
is that the case, or is that you're already going with that preconceived notion that this is what you want to experience, what you want to manifest out of it, what you want to experience out of it, so therefore you have the experience because you manifest it?
Exactly. Is it to do with that? Again, we're back to your own mental manifestation.
Matt Cass put a big ass word there, stochastic resonance.
Ooh,
I hope I said
that's
that
a
right.
big word. I might have to Google what sarcastic means. Sarcastic, I get, but that's got a different resonance completely.
When you said sarcastic, you want to talk about me this time.
The sarcastic resonance is a completely different stochastic resonance. But there
a phenomenon where a signal that is normally too weak to be detected by a sensor can be boosted by adding white noise to the signal, which contains a wide spectrum of frequencies.
Ooh.
Now explain that where I can understand it.
Yeah.
Teresa's looking at me like, no, I just read it, damn it. I'm on Wikipedia with you.
Wasn't that Wikipediaing it. Wasn't that low level resonance though?
No, it says just where a signal is normally too weak to be detected by a sensor. It can be boosted by adding white noise to the signal, which contains a wide spectrum of frequencies. And white noise does.
Combining vibrations to amplify sound, which you would do if you was all humming in a circle, wouldn't you?
Right. Yeah.
It's like one person humming. It's
you're not doing
very low.
Yeah, but all forms of amplification, whether it's electronic or otherwise, all add sound or noise of some sort, whether it's
vibration
or vibration. Yeah.
You do it as you're doing. If you do the humming,
humming, not vibrating.
To start doing the Ouija board, you're not doing it for sound. Am I wrong?
Yeah.
But if you're humming, you're putting out sound and vibration.
But you're. That's true.
Anytime you speak, though, you're putting out vibration. That's what your vocal cords do, vibrate.
True.
But it does have an effect on people, and it does. It does have an effect on people. So whether or not it raises their vibration into a way that they can then resonate on a more higher spiritual level, I don't know. I mean,
this automatically brings, when we talk about this and stuff, it brings back in the thoughts about the shepherd's tone, or the devil's tone, as some people say it's called by the Catholic Church, which I've never found proof of that.
Mm-hmm.
The shepherd's tone is pretty cool. We've actually done some experiments with it with another team we worked with, using it while investigating, having the ascending and descending tones simultaneously.
Okay.
Have you never heard of shepherd's tone?
I've heard of a team that use a frequency, and they've had amazing results, or say amazing, they've had good results through using a frequency whilst on investigations. It's not humming, it's an actual frequency.
This is called the shepherd's tone, and it's ascending and descending at the same time.
Okay.
Kind of like when you see when a plane takes off, you hear it coming and you also hear it going. The way that goes around and things like that. Or a car goes by, you kind of hear it coming at you and you hear it going away. And there for a little bit you hear it doing both because of where it's positioned at. And we've done that at some locations. In some locations, the activities seem to pick up. We can see if I get more things. We've done some other locations where we've done it, and it went, for lack of a better terms, it went dead after that.
Oh.
Yeah, but that's not shepherd's tone. That's Doppler effect, is what you just described.
Ooh.
When we Googled on, or not Google, we put on, to find the tone on YouTube, we put in shepherd's tone, and it goes right to one. That's what we used.
Okay. Dave?
So,
you know about frequencies and stuff?
That's what I'm saying. I just know what they told on YouTube.
Isn't there also a theory that something to do with music is set now at 450 hertz and it should be 440 52 or something, and that's been debunked.
What have been debunked? I didn't catch what you said. I'm sorry.
There's something to do with a frequency where if music is played under a certain frequency, it has a better resonance with people than it does if it's played at a different frequency. And I'm throwing figures out here, and this is really bad memory. 450, and there's only like a 2 or 3 hertz frequency vibration between them, but it creates more of a unresonating frequency than it does. And why aren't we playing music in this frequency rather than the other frequency? Because they don't want us to raise to that level of conscious awareness or something like that. That's why they make everyone play it at this level. I don't know. I looked into that a little while ago. It was a long time ago I looked into that, so I am dragging memories out. Clearly not heard of it.
He's saying, Kaz is
I'm hearing
frequency.
Tumbleweed going across the studio here.
Yeah. Nice shooting, Kex.
I'm sure it got debunked somewhere along the line, that one. We've moved right off the subject of Ouija, haven't we, if you noticed?
That happens with us.
This is true. This is the whole point of a roundtable discussion. Yeah, I'm sure I read that somewhere. And I looked into it a bit deeper, and I'm sure I read somewhere that it got debunked, and the hertz frequency of that degree was not enough to resonate differently. But then it depends on your view of resonance and whether or not that can resonate on a soul level or not.
I think that stems from the Hallelujah chorus and the magic chord reference there. It's a myth stemmed from song lyrics.
Okay. I don't know. So it was a long, long time ago I looked into that one night kind of research thing. So I can't really be an authority on the subject.
But I may be wrong. I mean,
I don't know. But we go back to the humming and the drumming and that frequency vibration that will raise you up to, I don't know, open you up to connection.
But that's been believed for a long time. I mean, that's why tribal people used to do the humming and the drumming and all that, and chanting around the fire, and why some monks still do it and all that stuff. That's always been a thing about bringing up your resonance or your energy level, your frequency, your vibration, whatever you want to call it.
That's very true. It would be interesting to see what would happen if you did that around a Ouija board.
Well, the night they were doing it, Teresa was talking about they were humming around it. I don't know what really happened. I kind of left that night. I got something else happened and I had to go.
Well, we got the activity on the board was really great, and I don't believe
sound of that beer top opening.
I don't really think that anybody was. There was at that point there were 3 of us on the board.
I don't remember. I had to leave because we were doing table tipping. That's the first time I'd ever seen it, and it was a 3-legged table, and one of the legs that was up in the air, it was only standing on one leg. One of the legs up in the air. I watched it bend and break off the table.
Really?
And then I went back. I put it back on, and it came off a second time. I put it back on the next time. I put the screws through the table into the leg, and it broke a third time. And I'm like, I have no idea what's going on here.
It was really.
It just did not calculate in my mind why and how it was happening. And what's the spirits? I'm like, if the spirits can pick the board of the thing up, tip it up on one leg, and twist the leg off and break it, why the hell haven't they whipped my ass yet for me mouthing off to them?
But you can't explain. You sat there and watched it, or you stood there and watched it happen.
I'm not denying that it did not happen, but that goes back to me. Am I dismissing my experience because it doesn't make sense to me and I can't figure it out logically or anything else? I know what I saw. I know what I witnessed. A lot of people may not believe me, and I don't give a shit whether they believe me or not. I know exactly what I experienced. Right. Do I want them to believe me? They don't have to. I don't care. They still can't take that experience away from me. But that doesn't mean I have to accept it for what I think I saw. The mind is a very powerful tool.
It is. That's one thing I think we all agree on, is the mind is an incredibly powerful tool. you know?
Absolutely. That's why I'm saying I don't talk about it often because I cannot make heads or tails of it. Even 7 years later.
Yeah.
7 years later, still don't make it.
Yeah, I was going to say there is experiences you have, and they're rare. They're rare, but that's what keeps you going in the paranormal field. Surely, those experiences where you go, no matter how I look at that, and I can look at it from lots of different angles, I can't explain what happened that night.
But that falls back into the other things too. A lot of places in the United States have table tipping banned, just like the Ouija board. But if I bring in a pendulum board, it's okay, or an angel board, it's cool.
Right.
Just not a Ouija board.
But Ouija was only named because of one person.
Yeah, exactly. But the Ouija was in the movie, and they've made other movies about it. And it's always in bad movies, and bad people things happen to good people because they touched the Ouija board. And I love the people that tells me, like, yeah, I've had this experience, but, you know, I'm 42 years old, and I had this experience and stuff, and I know it has to come from when I play with that Ouija board. When did you mess with the Ouija board? When I was 13. Oh, you freaking idiot.
I'll tell you what happened to me when going back in the day. Years we were playing, we were kids, like I was in primary school, so we were kids playing with it. It spelled out "Kill Kerry tonight."
Oh wow!
Yeah, you know.
Do you have a sibling that you were playing on the board with?
No, this was with a friend, a friend that I don't see anymore. Clearly, from 10 to the age I am, don't see them anymore. Anyway, I literally rode home on my bike that night like a bat out of hell, really scared. Whole point of that night was like getting scared, quite frankly. Clearly, that weren't real. That was her pushing the planchette. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm still alive today. Just. But do you know what I mean? At that age, because it's a parlour game, because it's like was viewed as that, and this was before all the media crap that's come out since, because I'm that old. You know what I mean? It was just a parlour game, and we did it just to be scared. Didn't put me off in now playing with the Ouija board. God, if that could easily have done that, but it didn't. Kill Kerry tonight. I mean, I literally, honestly, bat out of hell. That's all I can say.
Oh, I can only imagine.
But see,
you can imagine.
Yeah.
If I was a kid messing with Ouija board with some friends or whatever, you can bet your ass I'd do everything I could to guide it in a certain direction to make it do what I want.
You would be the one that would have spelled
I would be
out
manipulating the shit out of it.
Exactly, Guy, and probably even doing I've been taken over by a spirit whilst doing it. Do you know what I mean? Pure acting.
It wasn't my fault. It wasn't my
pure
fault.
Oscar acting going on.
I was possessed by the demons in the board.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, that's not put me off the board. But then I don't watch horror movies. I don't buy into that genre at all. So, you know, maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm stronger minded than most.
I mean, horror movies are exactly what they are. They're a movie. They're entertainment purposes only, just like any other movie. I don't give a shit what it is.
You don't watch horror movies because I can't handle them.
Yeah, I get to watch them in the month of October.
And that's it.
I know that they'll affect me on a psychological level, and I won't sleep that night. Do you know what I mean?
I have nightmares. They bother me. And
they bother me.
The stupid Nightmare on Elm Street movies where the guy gets in your dreams. It's like that's just so wrong.
Well, maybe that's why they don't bother me, because you guys get on a psychological level, and we all know that I'm psycho, not psychological.
That's true. That's true.
What? They don't. I think they're entertaining. I sit there and I'm terrible to go to a movie theater for a horror movie because I laugh at them, and I'm just amazed by how realistic they can make that plastic and colored water look. It's like,
well, Paul Rook is the same as you, Jay. He goes, "Oh, it's so cool. I wonder how they created that, knowing it's a creation." For me and Teresa, that for some reason that will play on our minds in a more psychological level, where we'll go, "Oh God, I can't do that." Richard, I just have this image of Kerry flying down the road on a chopper. You don't know how true that is. And it has created this fear of a tool that maybe is getting a bad rap. I don't know. I've not had a bad experience myself with the Ouija board, so you know.
Well, Mayor just said it all right there. I feel Hollywood takes a great story and flips it to the not realistic state, and that's true. They take it too far. They take it to me. They take all of them and they push them to the limit past believability.
True.
I mean, it's like the movie. What was that? I Am Legend with Will Smith. To me, that movie was, It just missed 1.5 minutes. So we got to wrap this up.
Oh yeah, well we do this every week, and then he goes, "Oh, you finished too soon." Legend was awesome. See,
don't ever say that to a guy.
Yes,
Zombie movie.
Never say that to a guy.
It's a zombie
You
movie.
finished too soon?
It's
Oh my
cool.
God!
You finished way too soon, Jay.
But no, I Am Legend. The reason why I said dismiss is because in that movie they had a chance to go to another direction because the vampire thing started. They started tracking him. They trapped him. So they were learning. They were learning his routine and where he was at. They were actually becoming smarter. And they didn't play off that. All they did was play off the fact that he was going to find this cure and all this shit. They didn't play the fact that they were actually evolving. They missed it completely.
Oh, I didn't miss that in the movie.
But they didn't play. No, you didn't miss it. But the people making the movie did. They didn't play off that at all. It could have went such a different direction. It's such a phenomenal direction if they just played on that.
Well, each their own on that movie.
That don't say
I was going to say we've ended up on a movie critique. Oh dear!
Y'all hang around, listen to Captain Chris and Wayne because they absolutely kick ass
every week.
Literally.
Thank you so much for listening, guys, and we will catch you next week with God knows what topic we're going to pick for next week.
I'll see if I can't find one.
Okay, honeypot.
That should scare us.
Yeah, I'm just thinking that.
Good night, all.
Good night, guys.
Thank you for listening. Don't forget to join us for more shows throughout the week. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and the World Wide Web to keep up to date with all the shows right here on Parasearch Radio.